song goes like this.
Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Welcome to Trial and Error, where I take a look at the first part of a game or a game demo, usually play it pretty badly and give you my thoughts along the way. This time I'm looking at Titan Quest for the PlayStation 4. This game was released on PC I don't know how many years ago, and just recently, for whatever reason, it's been ported to consoles, and I am really interested in seeing if this is going to be the right kind of game for me. I love Diablo clones. I'm not as big of a fan, surprisingly, of the Diablo series itself. I enjoyed the first one on PC. I got about halfway through the second one, and I don't know, I just felt like it was going to have to be too grindy for me to be able to get past this certain spot. And then Diablo 3, I played through and I kind of enjoyed enough to get through the whole game, but it hasn't stuck to me. Part of that is because I do not like playing with keyboard and mouse, and no matter how many people in the world say that keyboard and mouse is superior, somehow that doesn't help me enjoy using keyboard and mouse anymore. So I really prefer gamepad. Another reason I think has something to do with the number of enemies in Diablo 3, which got to be swarming so much, and that's become more and more popular in Diablo clones. It starts to feel like an RTS almost, instead of like an action RPG. I suspect they started using swarming enemies more in these types of games just because they could technically get more enemies on the screen with advances in video game consoles and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily want that. I like the individual enemies to feel a little bit more significant as I'm fighting them. Some console Diablo clones that I've really enjoyed in the past would include Torchlight, although for me the art style is a little bit cartoony. I like something that's a little bit more, grim and gritty or whatever. I also really enjoy the Snowblind games. Those are probably the pinnacle of my Diablo clone experiences, which would include, on the PlayStation 2, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, Champions of Norath, and also I did play some of Champions of Norath Return to Arms, didn't find it as enjoyable as this one. I really enjoy these in single player, and this Return to Arms was more of a multiplayer game. So yeah, that's another thing. I'm also a hermit gamer. I play by myself, and I enjoy that more than playing with others couch co-op or certainly online. And so I'm always looking for a good single player experience, not something that's dependent upon multiplayer to be enjoyable. Also really enjoyed Snowblind's Justice League Heroes Diablo clone. So I definitely enjoy this genre, but they just don't often come to console, and then when they do, as in the case with, say, Victor Vran and Van Helsing, I haven't checked out those yet, just because looking at reviews, it looked like there was a lot of enemy swarming, and also unsatisfying loot, and that's a big part of the experience for me as well. I want to feel like I'm pretty steadily upgrading and becoming more and more powerful as my character's making their way through the game. So I'm going to see just if this one is scratching the itches that I want it to scratch. I've heard lots of good things, so here we go. We'll see. There's no character classes that I can see in the character generation section. And the only difficulty available is normal, so that concerns me a little bit because I suck at games, and so I like to have an easy option. The character model, I think, kind of betrays that this is a little bit of an older game, but the graphics aren't really a big thing for me. It's all about the gameplay for me. As long as the graphics are good enough to convey a certain tone, that's all I really need out of them. The movement controls are just a little bit weird. I mean, I feel like I start right pretty much when I move the analog stick, but I keep moving for like a half second after I let go. As long as it's, a more stat-based action RPG, then I don't think that'll be a problem. But if it's going to require me to do a lot of, dodging and skillful playing, then that could be really bad. Oh, weird. So the camera, I can't rotate the camera. I can zoom in and zoom out. But I'm not seeing a way to rotate the camera. Combat controls so far remind me a little bit of Sacred 2, Fallen Angel, which is one that I've enjoyed in spurts. But the way in which it's similar is that you just, instead of hitting your attack button and then seeing your guy attack, hitting it once equals swing, you just, when you're near an enemy, hold down your attack, and then he just attacks repeatedly the enemy that you're focused on. And that took some adjusting for me when I was first playing Sacred 2. Eventually I got used to it. Oh, dang! I just ran over to these guys, so like, there's like an auto-highlight system where it chooses an enemy that you're facing to highlight, and that's your focus. And then I was holding down square, and I got near one guy, but then as soon as he was dead, another guy got highlighted, and just holding down square caused me to run toward that guy and start attacking him. I didn't have to move the stick to go there. That's probably just some evidence that this was a PC game, because I can see you kind of like holding the left click to run over and attack somebody. Wish I could speed up this dialogue, let it scroll faster. Alright, I checked out during that little quest introduction. Hopefully there are quest markers. The point size could be a little bit bigger on the text. I mean, I'm sitting fairly close to my TV, so it's not as big of a deal, but it could be just a little bit bigger. And that sometimes happens when they're porting PC games to console. I wish they would give more attention to that. Oh, cool! So I can go into my quests, and then I can actually re-listen to the dialogue, and even skip it if I want, and just get the whole thing spit out in front of me and read it real fast. So knowing that I can just skip that initial dialogue, get a quest marker basically, and plow through, that's appealing to me. I don't play any video games for story really, especially not an action RPG. Yeah, the way the controls work, I think I just need to adjust my expectations in a similar way to Sacred 2 Fallen Angel, where I don't feel quite like I'm playing an action RPG, but more like a real-time RPG, almost like a real-time with pause RPG, like Baldur's Gate or Neverwinter Nights, except without as much tactical controls. It's much more real-time. But I mean, combat so far is basically reduced to holding square and keeping an eye on my health and healing when I need to. Alright, that was all just me holding square. Okay, so I'm leveling up, I think, here. So now I'm seeing kind of like the classes available in the game. Dude. Well, thematically, they got a wide variety of class types here. That's really cool. The kind of like lack of precise control over movement isn't a big deal, because as soon as I highlight an enemy or a good guy that I'm intending to interact with, even if I'm not facing the right way or whatever, if I'm close enough and they're highlighted, I can hit X and I'm good to go to interact with them, or square if I'm attacking somebody. So the controls do make me feel just a little bit removed from the action happening on the screen, but that's fine. I think I just need to adjust to kind of like an overseer mentality in my engagement with the combat systems, rather than someone who's in the thick of it. A big boss is coming for me! Alright. Come on, boss. Yeah, this game doesn't look great close up, but I think I'm probably going to stay in this zoomed out view most of the time. Yeah, it has all of the essentials so far, all these little elements of Diablo clones that I think are really important. A portal system, a storage system, multiple classes, weapons and armor with ranges of defense and offense to take into consideration, 5 different types of resistances. I mean, it looks like the more I get into this game, the more there's going to be to it. Oh, I gotta use my fire. I haven't been using my fire stuff. Activate fire! Oh, much better. Yeah, I'm thinking I might gravitate toward magic, just because it fits well with the somewhat detached nature of the controls. It definitely isn't too difficult. I mean, I've just been amassing health potions. I don't think I've used a single one yet. Well, at this point, I'm feeling a lack of difficulty, and possibly also a lack of progression that's coming quickly enough. Alright, just when I said that, I look at my inventory and I picked up some nice new gear that gave me a little bit of an upgrade. But I don't feel a need for the upgrade. I don't feel the need to become more powerful, because right now the game is not difficult at all. I don't really even have choices to make in terms of like, when should I use a health potion? I mean, like, I quickly got past the point where guys were doing any damage to me, or certainly getting close enough to do damage. I'm just killing them from far away with magic blast before they can get anywhere near me. And even when they get near me, I don't feel like I'm in danger. I don't feel like they're doing a ton of damage to me. So I don't want it to be more difficult in terms of, like, controlling it and being quick with my reflexes. I just want it to be difficult enough that I have to make some choices about, you know, whether or not to use a potion, or should I switch to a different weapon because this enemy is gonna be more susceptible to damage from this type of weapon. Like, honestly, the damage does not seem to make any difference. I'm not sensing a difference in damage between, like, my magic staff and a bow and arrow. They're both just kind of ranged, and they have different looks to them. I'm still only a couple hours into the game, but, you know.
Your inventory is full.
Whoa, that happened fast. Gosh, is there a way that I can increase my inventory space? That would be really handy right now. Gosh, I got 3-4 guys all attacking me at once here. My health is not going down that fast. I just don't feel like I'm in trouble. My health regeneration is, like, not too short of keeping pace with their damage. Just sitting here. Let's see how much a single healing potion gives back. But quite a bit. It doesn't give it back to me instantly, but basically, yeah, it fills me back up. I just don't feel like I'm in any danger at all. And feeling like I'm in danger, to some degree, is important. Because that's what makes the loot valuable. There's a little bit of repetition in foes. Like, I've been fighting these guys for a while, so I haven't seen any new enemies yet. Alright, well, let's use another health potion while I'm thinking. Okay, I guess I'll kill these guys. After all, I only have 9 health potions left. And again, it's not that I want more bad guys. That's not a solution in my mind. It's making the bad guys I am fighting individually more of a threat. Oh, wait a minute. Awakened Dead Archer. Okay, they're doing a little more damage to me. Oh, this guy knows some magic or something. Oh, okay, yeah, I used a health potion, now I'm feeling it. Now I'm feeling it. Okay, that was good. So give me combat like that just a little more often, please.
You have no more room.
And give me more room in my inventory. This is, ugh. I can't bring myself to not pick up stuff. I have to loot. But I don't like having to make so many stinking trips back to town. Oh! Okay, there's some hits. Oh, yeah, okay. Hang on a second. Did I lock myself in already to pyromancy? Okay, so it doesn't look like you can multi-class. It looks like I chose the pyromancy track, and that's the track I'm on for this playthrough of the game. Yeah, so mastery is like the equivalent, I think, of a class in this game, and it looks like you can only choose one mastery. Like the first time you level up, that's when you make that choice. Okay, I just jumped online to check, and actually you choose that first mastery, which is kind of like a class, when you reach level 2, and then again at level 8. So there is a chance later on to choose a second mastery. I just haven't seen it yet. I didn't know that was coming, so anyway. And I also just read somewhere that the difficulty can spike later on in the game. I don't know. We'll see. But that was a good encounter. So maybe we'll see more of the kind of like difficulty that I want. But see, I've still got 14 health potions now instead of the 9 I had before, which already seemed like way too many. Oh, that was not as spectacular as I wanted it to be. I mean, he goes flying in kind of a weird ragdoll-y kind of way, but let's see the description here. Lobs a burning orb of fiery brimstone that explodes when it hits the ground, inflicting fire and physical damage to enemies in a small radius. I really wanted that to look more sensational than it did. I don't know. I feel like for it to be the challenge level that I want, I'd have to, like, remove armor. I'd have to choose to handicap myself in some way. Maybe I'll just stop picking up loot for a little while. I don't know. That doesn't feel right. This is actually reminding me quite a bit of Sacred 2. I mean, the fireball effect looks almost identical. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop picking up stuff unless it's got some kind of a highlighted special element to it. Oh, okay, now this guy takes some chunks out of me! Oh, he's almost got me! There we go. Alright, that was a little more intense. Okay, so which way do I go for this? Which way is Megara? Okay, so this game is missing some quest markers or something. I guess when in doubt, just keep walking along to areas you haven't been to yet. Yeah, see, I'm seeing in the equipment stats like 14% cold resistance, and then I've got 5 different types of resistances I can potentially have, but none of it seems to be coming into play. I'm probably about 3 hours into the game, and I just feel overpowered. And that's so weird for me to say, because usually I stay away from difficulty, at least when it comes to hand-eye coordination. I mean, I like some challenge in terms of the choices I have to make, but I don't feel like there are any wrong choices I can make. I feel like I'm going to be overpowered no matter what I buy, no matter how I equip myself. Yeah, a little bit of swarming there, and I just back up, turn around and shoot, run away, turn around and shoot. I want some more choices. You know, I want certain enemies to be susceptible to certain types of attacks so that I'm forced to change up what I'm doing instead of just holding down square and then running away for a little bit when the damage gets too much for me. This is so bizarre for me to be wanting a game to be harder. I never want games to be harder. But I thought I must be doing something wrong. I came back out to the main menu to see if I could change the difficulty from normal up to... It's still... The higher difficulties are still locked. This is so weird. Man, and I'm seeing a lot of the same kinds of enemies. This is reminding me more and more of Sacred 2. It's weird. It kind of makes me think about the idea of challenge in games and why do we want challenge in games? I mean, I can't speak for people who like play the Souls type games. That's not for me at all. I don't even want to play Super Mario Brothers because it's too hard for me. So why do I want some challenge in this game? I suspect it's because we were made from the very beginning, before the fall, to work, to take on challenges. In Genesis chapter 2, verse 15, it says, Yahweh God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and keep it. So we're meant to maintain or take something and make it better or productive. Verse 18, then Yahweh God said, it is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. So we're meant to also work in partnership with each other, doing some kind of work, taking a situation and making something better out of it. It wasn't until sin, it wasn't until the fall that work got all screwed up. After that, God said to Adam, cursed is the ground because of you. In pain you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for you. And you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you shall eat bread. So obstacles like thorns and thistles and intense effort that caused sweat, that was not an intended part of work. But sin screwed it up. It made us susceptible to death and weakness and frustrations. And games, I think, are a way that we can scratch some of that itch to take something in a situation and make it better, whether you're accruing points in a board game or jumping around in a Mario Brothers level or fighting bad guys in, whatever kind of game it is, where we start at one state, we take on challenges, and then we end in a better state. In that way, I think games are kind of an outworking of our desire to experience work as it was meant to be originally, not as it has become in this world. There's even indications that there could be like trade or some kind of commerce going on in Revelation chapter 21 in the new heaven and the new earth. In chapter 21, verse 24, describing the New Jerusalem, it says, "By its light will the nations walk." So there's still going to be nations, multiple nations, organized masses of people. And the kings of the earth, multiple kings, multiple kind of governments, the kings of the earth will bring their glory into it. And its gates will never be shut by day, and there will be no night there. They will bring into it the glory and the honor of the nations. And that seems to suggest that each of these nations will have something that they are known for, their glory, and they will bring that into the New Jerusalem. So all that to say, I don't like games that are too hard for me, but I do like some kind of challenge because I think it's hardwired into me to have just enough challenge to be in that sweet spot where I'm enjoying taking a situation and making something better out of it. Finding victory, finding accomplishment or whatever. And I think games are at their best when they are doing that and giving us arguably just a tiny little barest bit of a foretaste of life in eternity with Christ and his people. This game is not doing that for me. Normally, I would play an RPG for at least 5 hours to get a good sense of what the game is. Because a lot of RPGs can be like dozens and dozens of hours, and sometimes you need, at least 5 hours to get a sense of what the game is. I think I've got a sense of what this game is. And just to double check, I did a little bit of Googling to see, am I the only one that's having this issue? And a bunch of other people are, talking about, have talked about the game in the past on PC as being really easy the first time through, and really it ramps up in difficulty after you've done a single playthrough. Well, I don't know if I want to try and muscle my way through an entire play of the game before I start enjoying my experience really in a consistent way. So at this point, I think I'm more likely to go back to my Xbox 360 and pick up Sacred 2 again and keep going through that. It's a bummer. I'm glad this game only cost me $30. It is not working out for me. All right, that's it. Those are my thoughts. I'd love to get yours in the comments below, and then I hope you'll join us over at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.